Homeschool is a choice thousands of children in the Magnolia State take part in. More than 23,000 Mississippi children were enrolled in homeschool last year, which is nearly 7,000 more than 5 years ago. This morning, we have a live interview with Bevin Wilder, who is the president of the Eagle Homeschool Association Board in Alcorn County, along with her husband, Royce. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So why do some families think homeschool is a good choice?
Traditionally there are a lot of reasons. The most prominent reason in the past historically has been for religious reasons, for a education that's based on religious instruction. But we have a lot of reasons that people are joining the homeschool community, especially years lately. A lot of emphasis on safety, of course, health concerns from the last few years, especially. But also, as people have been bringing their kids home, they're seeing some things that they are really loving about having their kids home and educating them there. So I find a lot of times families have one reason that brings them home, and then as they have their kids home, they realize there are a lot more reasons to keep them there.
Yes. Well, how has homeschooling changed over the years?
Well, as I said, especially in our area, a lot of homeschoolers traditionally have kind of had an attitude of being home to give religious instruction and to have sort of a family unit, and that's definitely still a reason that folks homeschool. But we see a lot of other reasons and a lot more diversity in the homeschool community. Another way that homeschooling has really changed has been the curriculum choices. Years ago, when homeschooling first became popular, late 70s, early 80s, there were very few curriculum choices. And I tell families now, a lot of times one of the biggest challenges is the overwhelm of how many materials are available to homeschooling families.
And we're showing our viewers some pictures of your program, Eagle Homeschool. Now, what does the Eagle Group offer?
Eagle Homeschool, our mission is to create a Christian environment where we can offer support, activities, enrichment. We're not a school. There are a lot of different kinds of homeschool organizations, and there are some that offer core academics. But what we do at Eagle is to try to enrich and support, encourage those families that are doing those academics at home. We have a really stellar competitive sports program. One of our other flagship offerings is our enrichment classes that we do 1 day a week for 10 weeks in the fall, 10 weeks in the spring, where we just do a lot of different various classes that are taught by volunteers. Our organization is volunteer led. Anything from a dissection lab to a Lego class and everything in between. But we're just there to support the homeschool community in this area. We also have a lending library for members where they can come and look at different curricula and even check out some of the non-consumable items there to help with their budget and just to see what's available for them to use. We're just there to try to make homeschooling as successful as possible. And there are a lot of organizations in our area. We're not the only one, but we're very excited to be able to support homeschoolers.
Well, it does look like a lot of fun, and based off of what you're saying and seeing those pictures, it looks like a lot of hands-on activities. But what did you think about the numbers from the Mississippi Department of Education that show there were nearly 7,000 more homeschool students in 2022 compared to 2017?
Right. The percentage of homeschoolers traditionally around 2016 had kind of leveled off at 3.3 nationally. Of course, health concerns of the last few years were the obvious reason for sort of a spike in those numbers. But the thing to me that's really interesting is that as the schools have opened back up, we see those numbers not dropping back down. And nationally, the average spiked at about 11%. And we see that true, maybe even more so. Mississippi, those numbers hit about 15%. And they're not coming back down. As I mentioned earlier, I think families are realizing that homeschooling is maybe not what they had perceived it to be before, and finding a lot of value in having their kids at home and being able to be that major influence in their kids' lives, whatever that looks like for their family. It can be very diverse.
And you've touched on it a little bit, but for those who are new to homeschooling, those who are maybe thinking about this option, do you have any advice?
I think the number one piece of advice that I can give you is to get connected with other homeschoolers. We would love to help you. And as I said, there are other groups. Our website is eaglehomeschool.com, and we have a Facebook page. Our public page is Eagle Homeschool Events, and you can connect with us there, or other organizations that might be in your area. We also have an event Thursday night that is specifically for this. It's at the Ryancy School where we meet, and you can find more information on our website. Today's actually the last day to sign up for that, but we'd love to have anyone. Is no commitment at all, but just a time to come and ask questions, see our facility. But even if you're not interested in Eagle, just to find out more about homeschooling. I think connection is a big part of what can make homeschooling successful for families.
Ms. Wilder, that is all the time we have this morning, but thank you so much for all of that great information about homeschooling and for sharing those pictures with us, and we really appreciate your time.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.